Talk on Bilbo Shears and the Scizone tonight till about 12 o'clock. Thank you for joining me. Interesting information. Tonight we're going to look at some things you may know about, may not know about. If you have an opinion about them, I'd like to hear from you. This is a call-in talk show, and you're the most important part of it. Tonight, first out of the barrel, I want to commend all the people down in Texas who have kept their mouths shut and haven't said anything about the Trans-Texas Highway. To give you some idea of what that's about, they're building a highway, or attempting to, and I got some pictures. Someone sent me some pictures today of, they found a transportation who works for the highway. There's his truck, and that looks typical enough. And they caught him, or he was driving along, and as you can see, just a typical truck, until you get to looking very closely at it, and all of a sudden, whoops, hello, what could that possibly be? Looks like a little marijuana. Ooh, and enough of it there in the cab to get you some, ooh, and there is the money that they found back at the homestead when they went backward and started looking at it. And it's in the walls and in places, and it's the real deal. And there's plenty of weapons, as they always find them. And it's just one of those things. The question that came to mind when I found all this was, if that's one truck, and he was pretty well loaded, what would it be like to find out how many has gotten through? I had a picture of him. I was going to show you that, but I thought better of that and not to expose his face. He's going to have enough problem the way it is. The Trans-Texas Highway is an infringement, and they got enough problems with the way it is right now, as you can well see. We give them millions and millions of dollars, and they keep coming and coming and coming, and they keep bringing drugs with them into the country, which is, gee whiz, I think it's just a great idea. It gives them something to do, doesn't it? Meanwhile, back at the ranch, are any of you familiar with HAARP? That's spelled H-A-A-R-P. High Energy Resource and Applications. It's a radio transmitter. And there's a gentleman in Japan who is doing a great deal of work. You may want to get a pencil and write this down. There is a document that you can go look up on the website, and he mentions it in his website. And out of that, we have some pictures of some of the diagrams that show this is what HAARP does. It is a radio transmitting device that they can aim the antenna via computer anywhere in the world. And that's just simple statements about it. That's the way it works. They bounce it off the ionosphere, and anywhere from 100 to 300 kilometers, and they can zero in on a particular place. They can aim this weapon. It is, in fact, a weapon. And they're saying, well, no, it's not really a weapon. It's what we're able to do with it. And they can put billions of watts in it. And on the thing, the guy's name is James Fulford. Benjamin Fulford, spelled F-U-L-F-O-R-D. And if you will go to Google and look his name up, there is about an hour-long movie. He does an interview, and he makes some accusations. I have trouble with some of the accusations that he makes, but all I'm doing is presenting the information. I want you to take a look at it, and you be the judge of it. If you don't know about HAARP, let me give you some. I had Dr. Nick Baggage on the radio with me several times. It is a weather manipulation device and is a preemptive weapon par excellence. It can be directed against enemy countries or friendly nations without their knowledge. used to disable the economic, social economic, and the agriculture can also be triggered with havoc and the financial commodity market. This disruption in agriculture creates a greater dependency on food and imported grain staples for the U.S. and other Western countries. Does that seem to give you a picture of anything that could be going on in the world today? We keep hearing about hunger here and hunger there, and that's out there. But this machine gives people the control over it. I guess you want to take a break? We'll do a break. We come right back. I'll explain to you how this could be working right now, and we'll show you how right after this. On Bill Loach here at 12 o'clock. The telephone number is area code 513-381-3838. Jump in. The line's open while it's open. It won't be long, but go ahead. Here we go. As you will see in the movie with him, there is a gentleman who takes 30 watts, directs it into the ground, and is able to find oil and gas with it. HAARP, and that's just 30 watts. They are putting billions. A billion watt is nothing for this thing. They bounce it off the ionosphere. Now, if you can think about somebody putting 30, 40, 50 watts in a room like this, or in your house, for instance, it could literally vibrate and shake it apart. However, when this thing begins to operate, it goes very deep in the earth. And you will hear him in an interview with the Japanese, former Japanese Minister of Finance, who was threatened with an earthquake. Oh yeah. They can actually cause earthquakes. And to the day, they got their earthquake in Japan. The day they told him they would send it in exactly the place they sent it. We're dealing with some very sophisticated weaponry here. And the average individual in America doesn't even know about HAARP, has never heard of it, doesn't know anything about it. They're too busy watching the election, or they're too busy chasing around after their life, which is fine, and that's to be expected. But when you hear about these things, you won't hear about this in the local news, I guarantee you. That, and you won't hear about it on your local television station. It's not there. News will not cover this. It's when you begin to look behind the scenes of the news and the worthiness of it. I have been studying and watching HAARP since 1992 or 3. And I had Dr. Nick Baggage on with me many times, who lives in Alaska near this place where it's actually exists. I say actually exists. I'm trying to find the part, and I'll give you the city. Anyway, the idea being that in '94, advanced power technology, this thing is patented, by the way, by the Raytheon Corporation. It holds patents, and the primary thing of it is weather manipulation. You could literally stop all of the drug being imported into this country from the countries that are growing it. You want to stop the heroin trade? Turn the HAARP loose in Afghanistan and kill all the poppies. You want to stop the marijuana from south of the border getting in? Just go down to Colombia and wipe out their crops with a rainstorm. That's all it would take. Can it be done? It is being done as we speak. Can it be done? Absolutely. If it can cause an earthquake, it can certainly get this done. Now go to Google and look up the guy's name. Benjamin Fulford. Excuse me. He mentions, or you can do this. Here's another thing. It's called AF 2025. 2025. It's the AF 2025 final report. Go look that up on Google. I'm not even going to tell you what the report's about. Once you read it, you'll never be the same. I've got a full house of lines. We'll take, we got Gilby, Jack, and Denny, and all the rest of you trying to get in. Why don't we do that? Let's take, Gilby, you're online. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Bill. How are you?
Doing well, sir. Thank you for calling.
I have a question about something Larry Nichols said in the past. He said that just before the 2006 election that if ordinary people don't run as independents, and nationally, I'm talking about, if they don't run collectively, they'll never get in. Now, in your opinion, in this next, I'm talking about 2010 now, or do ordinary people, in your opinion, do they have a shot, just as much a shot then as they do then, and as they did in 2006?
They will if the people who want them elected, who are investors in the Iraqi dinar, will have enough money, and they will band together. They will elect the next president. This country is going to be taken back by people being an independent. And and I want to get your opinion about this. Barack Obama has the experience of 143 days as a senator in the Senate, Congress, whatever.
Yeah.
Is that enough? Is that enough history to run this country?
That's what I was thinking about. You know, Barack Obama has laid the groundwork for ordinary people, and I'm talking about just not having any experience. I mean, just in 2 terms as a state senator. Well, he's running for president. But what happens if an ordinary working person is running for a member of Congress?
He will have an opinion. They'll have opinions, and yes, they will be elected as independents. My advice is go down and become an independent now.
Right, exactly. I already am.
Good.
And the latter part, what I was telling you, I'm getting my ships together, and
there was a gentleman called me. His name, I'm just going to call him Tom for the time being.
Yeah.
North of us here in a little town, ran as an independent. He put what he stood for on the backside of pizza boxes and nailed them to the tree in his front yard. He got elected at a grassroots level, which is where it starts. See, all politics is local.
Exactly.
You don't politic from the top down. That's the way they want you to think. But in reality, it's from the bottom up. And we're about ready to start the bottom up movement. And it's people like you and Tom, my friend, who are going to do that. People all across this country are fed up with not having a voice. Right now, Barack Obama has a good chance of being the nominee. He has 143 days experience. I don't think the man's qualified to do what he's doing, let alone be president. Nor do I think Hillary is either. Nor do I think John McCain has got the sanity to stand still and do it. I think we're going to have to take the lesser of something, because the Republican and Democrat Party has failed the American public totally. you're going,
Right.
you're not going to get, you're going to vote, and oh, it's going to be the big vote, and this, that, and the other. And then the delegates are going to elect whoever they damn well please. See, that's got to change. The Electoral College doesn't vote for me. I vote for me, and you vote for you. But why should we then turn it over to an electoral position? Why not count one man, one vote? Oh, you can't do that. I've heard all the arguments. Bull row or bull spin, whichever you want to call it. I'm telling you, the independent individual in this country is where it's going. Because the two-party system, for 300 million people, you got to be kidding me. We're so disenfranchised right now, you can't get them to talk about the issues, mainly jobs. What the hell are we supposed to do? I mean, I know they want to be my president, but nobody's going, this is how we're going to get you a job. This is not a recession. This is a damn depression. We've got gas going out of sight. Gilby, thank you for starting me up here. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Sure bet.
Let's take a pause in the action. I'll get my blood pressure back down, and we'll be right back after this with more phone calls and you. Those years back in the Scizone with your phone calls now. Let's get right to it. Let's go to Jack. Been standing by the longest. Jack, you're on the line. Go ahead.
I had a question on the HAARP.
Yeah.
Is that anything like the project, it's called God Particle over in France?
No.
You know what God Particle project is?
I have not heard any connected with it.
Yeah, but you know about God Particle project?
No, I don't. What I'm saying is I've never heard it connected in any conversation or literature.
Well,
have you?
Yeah, I read a book on it. It's called God Particle. You can even do a Google search on it.
Okay.
It's very similar to what's going on right now with these scientists over there on the French border over there being built underground. So if you could check out on that and maybe bring that up, it's very similar to it, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to Denny. Denny, you're on the line. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Danny. French can't build nothing underground.
French
I'd
can't.
just like to thank you for being on the air.
You got it, my friend. I appreciate
All right.
you being there.
All right,
you.
thank you.
Said the French can't build anything underground. I probably. Annette, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, we
Hey.
have a good book and a bad book.
A good book and a bad book. McClellan's
Yes.
is a good book or bad book?
One you will be totally enthused about because I am not voting for the Republicrats. Isn't that a great name for them? The
Yeah.
Three Stooges? Uh-huh. It's called The Revolution, a manifesto by Ron Paul. Is available at the library. Could
Yes.
not believe it. It's on the New York Times bestseller list the first week. Hallelujah, there's hope for America.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you vote for Ron Paul?
Honey, if I had to crawl to vote for him, he is the only man who has a plan to get us out of this crap. Bush has built so many, like 300 bases since 2003. The embassy in Iraq is 6 times the UN complex in New York. Two of the bases are 20 miles square each. They have elaborate electrical systems that are not installed in temporary basing facilities.
Yes.
And Congress gave Bush the money, and it says, however, construction is continued because the Bush, I said it right, because the Bush administration has evaded whether the current bases are considered permanent. What do you think?
You've left me speechless, Annette. You're
I've
well
been-
read. You've done
Hey,
your
honey,
homework.
I'm doing my I'm the watch lady. You're the watchman. How's
There
that?
you go. I appreciate it. Thank you, Annette. Take
Love you,
care.
dear.
Gotcha. Bye-bye. Let's go to Don. Don, you're on the air.
Good evening, Bill.
How you doing, sir? Glad to have you.
I'm a little hot like you are, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
I wish people would take time to study the background on Obama.
There isn't any.
Well,
For
that's
God's
that's
sake.
my point. And Hillary.
Oh, gee.
and Ron Paul. He is not noted for voting for, let's say, the most politically correct thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's not one of them. It's like you said, they're not talking about anything. I want to hear about getting people coming across our lines. I want to hear about jobs and insurance, but these little vague remarks, nothing. Nothing solid.
There's nothing of any substance to any of the candidates.
Yep.
Not one of them has said anything about causing jobs.
Exactly.
Not one of them has said anything about the Trans-Texas Highway closing the border.
Yep.
And how are we going to stop all of the, are we going to send the immigrants home? What are we going to do with them?
Yeah.
Oh, we can't do that. Maxine Waters is now going, she's running, I don't know where this idiot comes from. She's, somebody in California went, where is she from anyway?
Yeah.
Is she from California? She's got to be. Anyway, she's an idiot, a doofus.
What I wish they would do is go back and study these people when they went to college. Look at their former background, where they were from. Most of them, if you find out 80% or better, okay, had not a penny to their name, average work homes. At the end of 20 or 30 years in office in Washington, D.C., they're worth millions.
Millions. Now, how do you get that? I don't know. You know, and I know too.
They're honest politicians, didn't you know?
Not one of them has addressed the oil and gas issue. And Maxine Waters said, well, if they don't do something about it, we'll just nationalize the oil and gas company.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be a good move.
Yeah, I know.
Do that. That's smart. We really could run, Bush could run that in the ground real quick.
We got to call them the Imperial Bush now. You got to remember that, okay?
That's true, yeah. Don, thank
good
you.
evening, Bill.
Got you, buddy. Let's go to Steve. Steve, you're there, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, sir. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say I agree with the caller that called a couple calls ago about the Ron Paul.
Yeah.
Man, that book is a great book.
You've read it?
I wanted to make a comment about something you said on the show a few shows back. You said people should become independent, and I totally disagree with that. I think they should vote Ron Paul, and he is actually a Republican. He goes by the traditional Republican views, not the neoconservative views.
Okay.
He is a real conservative. All the other people up there are neoconservative, which is a Republican or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Well, I'm glad you called, sir. Appreciate it. And you are right. Thank you.
Thanks.
The number 381, area code 513-381-3838. Jump in if you want to call. The line's open there. 143 days is not enough. I don't care how bright you are to run this country. And because you slept with the president or in the same building with him doesn't necessarily make you qualified as presidential material. The fact that you're a senator tells me you know how to cheat, lie, and steal. And the fact that you got elected doesn't mean that I have to keep you. The fact that somebody elected you in your state doesn't mean anything to me. Because you were elected somewhere that there was a lot of money put under you. I don't like it, don't like the candidates. I have my own ideas about that. Let's go right back to the phones. Let's go to Doc. I guess we got time for Doc. Doc, you're on the line. Go ahead.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Doing well, sir. Glad
This
to
is
have
your old Marine buddy again.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got some information about Maxine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maxine was voted in office because she was popular amongst doing the female.
That's right. That's right.
And
you're right.
Their insurrection.
Yes.
She doesn't know anything. She just goes along with the usual crowd.
Whatever somebody says, Maxine will go, yeah.
Okay, and another
That's it.
thing, you write about McCain. In '68, we were in Vietnam. McCain got put in the prison camp. He been crazy ever since that time.
I'm sorry he had to go into prison camp. Nobody wants that. I understand that.
Well, see, we didn't get caught. He was the one that got caught.
Well,
we know how to run and duck. But, Bill, you keep it up. Don't you stop, no matter what.
Doc, you stay here with me. Don't you go away now.
All right.
Hey, buddy. Doc's got it pretty close. He's got it pretty close to him. He's got McCain figured out. He's got Maxine Waters definitely figured out. Maxine was running around going, do you want me to burn my bra now or wait? What do you want me to do? And they said, no, Maxine, leave your bra on. You know, don't walk around without it. You need it, Maxine. Keep things in place. Let's go to Greg. Greg, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. I was wondering if you could explain when I get off about the dinar.
About the what?
About the Iraq dinar.
Oh, the Iraq dinar, yes.
And my other thing was about Barack Obama. I'm not going to vote for Barack Obama, but I think he's getting such bad press from everywhere that that maybe he might do some changing in the country.
How? How would he do that?
I don't know.
Who would he call? Jesse Jackson?
But usually when the status quo is...
Either Jesse or Al Sharpton. Now, I dig Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton is a slick dude. I like Al. Al's got some slick I like. And Jesse, you got to watch Slick Jesse. Jesse's slick now. Jesse get in your hip pocket. And Sharpton will too. And I don't know what Barack Obama... He's been on the job 143 days.
Well, you know, Bush is against him. He's coming out against him, and all the Republicans. And
Bush don't even know who the hell he is.
Well,
Bush don't know who the hell he is.
I've heard him comment, especially about the rogue nation policy and about Barack Obama. It just seems like he's getting a lot of heat. And if he was someone that didn't have any substance or didn't threaten the establishment, I doubt if they'd even give him a care.
You're probably right, my friend. Probably right.
Thank
Greg,
you,
I
Bill.
appreciate the call. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Let's take a break right here. I got to sell something. I'll be right back. Don't go away. And please buy some of this, whatever it is. We're back in the Scizone, regardless of what you may think. Tonight, talking about all kinds of slippery stuff, namely Hillary Clinton. If she, in fact, and no question about this, let's suppose that they say, we really want, I mean, anything could be happen. I mean, this is totally insane. But let's just suppose Barack Obama gets the nomination. Hillary's out in the cold. I got an answer for you. Larry Nichols, I was talking to him today. And he said, everybody's missed this, Bill. He said Hillary will run as an independent, and she'll be elected. And I thought about that. What do you think about that plan? If Barack Obama gets the nomination, she'll drop right out and become a centrist and run. Let's go right back to the phones and people in there. Philip, I guess. Bill, you're there, sir. Go ahead.
How you doing, Bill?
Doing well, sir. Glad to have
Watch your show. Don't often call, but have before.
Glad to have you, sir.
Watched your career, and you're a great guy.
Oh, my God.
Hey, I ran for office in 2007 as mayor of Sharonville, Ohio. Right a little bit north of you.
Yeah, no, right where it's at, sir.
I was in Time Magazine, January 21st, 2008 issue, page 19.
You know where it's at.
I ran as an independent. No one has bucked the Republican Party for 36 years. I got a third of the votes. I spent $388 of donated money, none of my own nickel, was giving my salary away of $34,728 a year to anybody that lived or worked in Sharonville who wanted to go to an accredited trade school or college of their choice.
Right.
Don't need the money, and the Republicans, in this case, spent $15,000 to beat me.
Would you, are you going to run again the next time?
They're begging me. The unions are begging me. The education
I'll beg
department.
you right now. I'll beg you right now on camera. If it comes down and you run, will you be my guest on the show?
I will do that, sir.
Tell me why you chose to become an independent.
Well, here, honest to God truth, this country has been turned over to mega corporations. Okay, you're on the air, and thank God you are, and for Elliot Block and the whole crew there. I've been doing it all my life watching. They want to take you off the air now.
Oh, yes.
You know, and people do need to, and I'm going to give you guys a plug. They need to get that converter box with both bands on it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because we want to see you guys. We need you out there. You're a voice, but you're a mighty voice. and I don't want you to ever go away. But same thing as that. You know, you've been fighting Time Warner forever to carry, 25 and 38. They don't want to do it. And it's a dollar thing. Like you said, always follow the money.
Follow the money.
Follow the money. I'm not in it for the money. I think we need a change.
I am.
And
I'm in it. I'm in it for
everyone.
the money. I'm in it for the money.
Well, hey, I'll take the money, but I think the proper thing for me to do, I'm retired. I don't need a job.
Uh-huh.
Okay? I don't need a job. But I don't mind working. Okay? A
Phil,
job is too taxing.
Phil, I have to agree with you. I like what you're doing. If you decide to run again, and I hope you do, please contact me, Bill, at Scizone.com or WBQC. I want you on the show.
Hey, and don't you ever get off the air.
I appreciate it. Thank you,
Have a good
sir.
one.
Have a good one. Good night. Well, satisfied customer there. Let's go to Jeff. Jeff, you're on the air.
How you doing?
Doing well, sir. Thank you.
I salute the guy that just called.
I do, too.
You talk about a grassroots campaign and people going independent.
Yeah.
The one thing that I wonder about, like the man said, everything being controlled by the corporations. What do we do to get rid of these lobbyists that are putting all the big money up, that are padding all the politicians' pockets to get rid of them, from the DEA to the gun people, any of them. Any of these
They're all
lobbyists,
doing it. They're all doing it.
all they're doing is padding their pockets.
What we do is we start our own independent. We do like the station WBQC is independent. We keep everything independent. Stay away from it. And every time they get it, you turn them over to me. When somebody comes to your office, you're an independent, and say they want me to do this, that, and the other, give it to me, and I'll publicize it. And then everybody who's an independent avoids that business.
I sure would like to see the point where you could go to some of these politicians, look up their records, see who they're voting for.
Oh, yeah, you can do it right now.
And, all the big money that's backing them. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You wouldn't believe there's a couple of websites, bogus. If you can type that website up there that I gave you about where all the people are, I'll put it out on the air. We're doing simulcast on the internet, by the way.
Okay.
And the people are watching here. I don't know, all kinds of people in there. Jeff, I appreciate it. I'll get the website for you as soon as they put it up for me.
Thank you, sir.
You got it. Let's go to Dave. Dave, you're there, sir.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something.
Ask
now, about this. Hello?
Yeah, go right ahead. I'm waiting on you.
Okay, about the thing that you showed about the money and the drugs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a few years ago,
around
the same time, it was elections, right?
Right.
We made a great big bust in California.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Seems like every time, Bill, you know what I'm saying, this get ready to happen.
Dave, let me tell you what I just found out. And because of those pictures, they are taking $1 million a week out of the drug trade in Texas and the Border Patrol. That's to be commendable. $1 million, man, that puts a hurt on them. And that was just the accumulation of what you saw, those pictures of that money, that room and that money. That's the most money I ever seen in one place like that. Unbelievable.
Exactly. Right.
Dave, I appreciate your call, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Bill, I'll get back with you another time.
You got it, my man. Thank you. Anytime.
Okay, my man. All right.
Let's go to Ann. Ann, you're there.
Good evening, Bill. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Working on the rest of it.
I had a call because you were talking about physics.
Yes.
HAARP. HAARP is a very interesting system. It's been operating for quite a while.
Absolutely.
Actually, it's capable of delivering 3.6 million watts to its antenna system, and it uses 180 cross dipole antennas.
Now, wait a minute. What you're talking about is fine, but people don't understand that.
Well, I'm going to get to it in a second.
Think of Voice of America. A lot of people around here know what Voice of America used to look like.
Right.
But this looks like clotheslines.
Oh, yeah, their dipole antennas are huge.
They're huge.
It's a large rectangular array. It's called a planar array, actually.
And they broadcast radio waves off the ionosphere, and they can direct it to anywhere in the world.
With a limited amount of success. Just because it sounds like a whole bunch of watts, 3.6 million, they're really delivering, in terms of the high-frequency signal to the ionosphere less than 3 microwatts per centimeter squared. So that's 10,000 times less than the sun's electromagnetic radiation. However, the wavelength is different than something you get from the sun.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Google, and I want you to get AF2025 final report. Just type that in and watch what you get. It will blow your socks off. AF Alice Frank 2025 final report.
Okay. All right.
All right. Let me know what you think of it.
Well, one other thing. There was this man called in about the God particle.
Yeah.
And real quick, I hate that terminology. It has to do with a Large Hadron Collider at CERN. And the big deal with this is nobody really knows it exists, and they're spending billions of dollars to prove what something has been theorized. And they may never find anything.
It sounds like a political football that we should get involved with.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And I appreciate your call, dear. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We're going to take a pause, Jackson. We come right back. Don't go away. We'll be right here. Watching on the internet right now, and thank you all for being there. And those of you at home on television, you can go to the internet, WBQC.com, and watch the show again. If you missed part of it, you can go back and watch it again. And also the blog, Bilbo Shears. Just one word, Bilbo Shears, at the blog. And special thanks to Miss Daisy and to all the guys in there looking around right now for the information. People really concerned about the true source of it, the fact that people need information. This is the only show I know in America, ladies and gentlemen, that gets this kind of information. The rest of them they're not. There's a couple of guys out there really busting it and getting it done. One is Jeff Rentz. And he broke the story about Benjamin Fulford. You need to go watch that. Then you'll understand why this HAARP is such a dangerous thing. But nobody's talking about how dangerous it is. Let's go to Sean. Sean, you're on the air.
Hello, Bill.
How you doing, sir?
What's up, man? About that marijuana case you said earlier where they busted hundreds and thousands of dollars of, drugs and marijuana.
Yeah.
Did you know that in Queensgate rail yard, they actually found on a train that came somewhere from not across the border, but somewhere from down south, down there in Texas. They found something similar to that. They found hundreds of tons of marijuana. So
I had not heard about it, but it doesn't surprise me if it did happen, sir. I appreciate your call. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Let's go to Robin. Robin, you're on the air.
Good evening, Bill. During your last commercial break, there was an ad for the converter boxes, the NTSC and ATSC, to make sure you get that. It's very interesting. Phil also mentioned it on an earlier call as well. And I had received, sent in an email for the coupons, like other people. And as you know, in the news lately, it's been talking about how they have 90-day expiration dates, so be sure to use them before they expire. Well, I went to our local Radio Shack. We had one open up here in Forest Park just recently, and talked with a young man. He didn't have them in stock. Walmart, nobody had them in stock. However, he said that he could get them from the warehouse and have them shipped to me. So I said, well, I want to make sure that they're both, that they have both NTSC and ATSC. He said, so you want to make sure you can get channel 25 and 38? And I said, yes, I do. And I watched channel 38 quite a bit. He said, ma'am, I can tell you that I have looked everywhere. I've gone to other stores, to Best Buy, Walmart, all the stores that are advertising that they carry these, even though they don't have them in stock, mind you, and none of them have both capabilities.
I
and
heard the
I'd like
same
to
thing.
know where you can get these that the station is advertising, because nobody knows where to get these things.
You're on a very touchy subject. I heard the same thing, so let's do this. If you're a store owner and you happen to know where that's at, or where, behind the preposition obviously, but where people can buy this, if they have both systems on it, I'd like to know about it. If not, don't bother to call. I appreciate it, Robin. We'll find out and get that to the public.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, dear.
Good night.
Appreciate it. Let's go to Donald. Donald, you're there, sir.
Good evening, Bill.
Yes.
I didn't catch the entire first part of your program about the HAARP device.
Yeah.
But it seems to have a lot of parallels with the Nikola Tesla work.
Absolutely, it does.
I don't know if you mentioned him or not yet.
Did not.
Okay. But yeah, he had a lot of interest in transmitting energy across space, and he had a little doohickey called a transducer that apparently was inside the building that he could make the building about shake apart.
Absolutely.
To whatever, however he was able to do that, just a really small thing.
He was quite an interesting man. You need to go get this AF 2025 final report and read it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's do a break, they say. We'll be right back with more and you. The lines are open. Jump in. Scizone, Bill Boshears here till, got a few minutes left. Take your phone call. 381, area code 513-381-3838. I don't know why I do that. Thomas, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah.
Bill Boshears.
Oh.
You know what? I've been thinking about something.
You know, it surprised me that you would.
You know who I am.
No, I don't know who you are.
Well, I'm Tom. God bless you.
Oh, Tom, thank you, sir.
I'm just wanting to talk to you about the HAARP weapon.
Yeah.
And what I'm thinking here is the HAARP weapon is a radio wave weapon.
Boy, you're underwhelming me.
Okay, I'm underwhelming you. How about this? There are New World Order people in all the governments, and I once heard through my sources that this thing is used to kill people. Because the human brain is also like a radio. It has synapses and electrical abilities, such as they can use a taser on a human body.
Yeah.
And they don't want the old and the weak to live too long because there are so many people on the earth.
Well, you've got a great point. I appreciate your point. Thank you, sir. I don't have time. Joe, you're on the air. Go ahead. Joe?
Yes,
Go right ahead, sir.
Thank you. I met you some time ago down near at Frisch's, and I'm Joe from Deer Park.
Okay.
But anyway, I like to bring my views, too. I don't care for Hillary Clinton. I never did. In fact, I don't like either one of them. And I never did like Billy Boy. He makes me sick looking at him.
Okay.
And anyway, they're both sore losers. And I'm not against women, but I think women should stay out of politics, in my opinion.
Well, you've got a limited viewpoint, but I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. I'm told here by the screener that the digital TV box Radio Shack at Queensgate DS converter with a pass-through order the warehouse. Are you telling me that they order them from the warehouse? Is that what you guys are saying? Yes. They will order them for you. So here we're doing a free plug. Somebody will go down and sell them a commercial. Digital TV box, Radio Shack at Queensgate, DS converter with a pass-through. Order it through their warehouse. There you are. I don't know where the Queensgate is, but now you do. Well, wait a minute. Queensgate, I don't know where the hell. Yeah, I know where the Queensgate is, but I don't know where that's at. Let's go to Steve. And by the way, 381-3838, some lines open, jump in. You're welcome. We'll get to you as soon as we can. Don't be late. Steve, you're there, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, just some more on the converter boxes.
I had quite a run around between Radio Shack and Walmart. I did eventually find them at Circuit City and Tri-County.
Did you get both channels, though?
Yeah, it has both tuners. They had them off the shelf. They were about the coupon plus about another $17.
Well, I think they had some first generation. Maybe they're trying to get rid of those. I don't know.
Yeah, they say they get them in different shipments and different manufacturers, but they did have them there at Circuit City and Tri-County.
I appreciate it, Don. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye. Bye. We got 2 minutes to left here. Thank you again, all of the guys and the gals, JC and Porcupine, and praying for you, Wings, and then all the guests that jumped in there. Dr. Rand, Buzz, D. Wolf, and all the rest of you. Thank you all for jumping in and being a part of tonight's show on the internet. And the screener doing a wonderful job in there, and all the guys, thank you guys in there for putting us up in the air tonight, making sure that, did you guys get the pizza? Did you get the pizza in here? We're going to have pizza here tonight, I think. Maybe it's a little late, but anyway, tonight we're talking about a lot of stuff, information that you may or may not know about. And so often that is the case here in the Scizone. We talk about, for instance, this research project that I just mentioned about HAARP is run through DARPA. It's a defense agency. They want to control the weather around the world. That's nothing. Think about it. You go into war and you can control the weather of your enemies. You can cause famine. 9,000 PhDs, doctors, and so forth signed off on something saying we don't believe in global warming. What should we do? Should we continue to buy into the political genre? I don't think so. I think it's time that America stood up and say enough is enough. We've lost 4,000 men over a lie. We've lost people who need help. We've got people running for office that don't have a clue. Join me next week right here in the Scizone, and we'll get to more of this right after this.